Supposedly we're live.
Oh, there we go.
Whether we actually are, it remains to be seen.
Are we speaking into the void?
Just like the good old days.
Assuming we actually went live.
Cooper, remember when we used to do the Audio Shop podcast?
I've got Twitch pulled up right now, and it's not live.
Yeah, it is now.
It is now?
Yeah.
You sure?
Pretty positive. I'm staring at it right now.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just refreshed the page.
I need to change the icon because that picture has a gray background, and when we're offline, it's gray. So it's really hard to tell when we're online.
Well, that's like a little secret. It's like we're putting our own channel on hard mode.
Well, I don't think we really need to do that.
I like the challenge.
We're finally back. Honestly, I completely forgot about Audio Shop until like probably 1:30
today.
Yeah.
What?
Well, because we haven't done it for so Cooper. It's been a while.
So we've been doing them once a month.
Yeah, because you were gone, and then I was gone, or during, I don't remember. But anyway, the past 2 weekends I've been gone, and you were gone before that.
But well, what's important is we're here now, right?
Yeah. But my parents texted. I got woken up by my parents this morning at 11. Sorry, it was 11. But they're coming down to bring my sister a cap and gown.
Your sister's graduating?
Yep. So there's going to be a couple. Her graduation weekend, I might not be able to do Audio Shop. We'll see.
No, that's all right. That's an occasion. That's a time to celebrate.
April. It seems like everything started happening for me in April and May. I don't know why. Because I went to Comic-Con, and then sister's graduation is the day before Mother's Day, and then the week after Mother's Day is my mom's birthday, and then that same week I have a wedding to go to. So it's like
Mr. Popular over here.
It was what? It was 2 of those are my immediate family, and the third is a single wedding.
That's not popular? I thought you were hired out to the wedding. Like you don't know the people, but
no. It's one of the goons up in Lafayette.
A Lafayette wedding.
So I got to get them a wedding gift. And it's casual, but I'm debating maybe going in at my my tux.
Oh, as they said, there's like no dress code.
No, they just said garden party kind of thing. They're having it in their garden, and it's going to be a small affair.
Small scale. Yeah, no, that's fair. Oh, you don't want to overdress though.
I feel like overdressing is better than underdressing.
Just show up in like some tank top. Get your
my brother's Pikachu tank top.
Yeah, your Pikachu tank top with your Crocs and socks on. Get severely sunburnt the week before.
Mm-hmm. But like with a t-shirt on, so you can see so how like, pasty white my upper arm is.
But since your tank top's sleeveless, you can really see the cutoff.
Yeah. Booty shorts.
Booty shorts, of course.
You got to make sure you got some of those charms for your Crocs. You remember those?
Oh yeah, where you put them in the holes.
Maybe some Croc nuts. You know what I'm talking about? Truck nuts, but it's the same thing for when you have the little. You just put them on the back of the shoe.
I don't like that.
Well, I don't like the idea of wearing a tank top to a wedding.
Well, if you show up like completely smashed.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, I gotta drive there,
You can Uber.
Uber the entire state.
Or I guess you can drive there and then just shotgun some beers in the front lawn before getting.
Sam, are you coming in? And did you bring a change of clothes? Give me 1 minute. I just pull out like a full bottle of vodka and just quickly chug it.
You guys got any pickle juice? It helps cut through the vodka taste. Okay, well there you go.
No, I don't know. I don't know what I'll wear. I'll have to decide closer depending on what the weather is. Because if it's really warm,
you don't want to be wearing a full suit.
No, I've got some khaki shorts that I'd probably wear.
That would be funny if you're just absolutely melting. They're like, Sam, how about you give a speech?
I would not be asked to give a speech. I'm friends with him, but not that good of friends.
It's completely melting. Ever since I met him, to you and yours. You're just drenched.
You hear squishing when I walk.
Oh God, like it's in your socks.
Yeah. Because obviously, if you're sweating that much, your shoes are going to start filling up. Because they're dress shoes, right? So it's pretty waterproof. But that goes both ways.
Yeah, wedding photos are just you in various states of undress, like as you're slowly like getting rid of your outer jacket and then your tie.
Take the cummerbund off. No, I'll probably khaki shorts. And oh God, I don't really have any polos though. That's the thing.
Get a nice Oxford cotton button down, breathable.
Well, like maybe I'll go buy a polo because the polos I have are from when I was like middle school.
I mean, you can buy some pretty cheap polos at like H&M or the Gap.
Yeah, I might have to. Because if it's warm, I'm just gonna wear jeans and one of my button-up shirts like I wear for work.
I'm pretty sure the polos at Baby Gap are cheaper. So if you buy like 3 or 4 of those, and then just like form them into one
stitch them together.
Polo. Yeah.
Or I could just get a sundress. You can get one of those for like $10.
That's true. Those are pretty cheap. Hey, look, a fresh new polo for a fresh new wedding. That's always nice.
I kind of hope it's going to be cold so I don't have to buy clothes.
I just bought a new, it's going to be May, so.
Yeah, but it's also going to be Lafayette.
You can buy a new watch for the occasion.
I've got some watches. I just haven't worn them. They also don't work.
No, they don't have to work as long as they look good.
Yeah.
We've got phones.
Yeah, I helped one of the coworkers that I actually liked move. And when we were done, he's like, "Here, I want you to have this watch." I'm like, "This is way too much. Like, I just carried a bunch of heavy stuff." He's like, "No, it's from my ex-girlfriend, and he lives with his fiance." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take this."
That's
he's like, "I need to get rid of this, please." Because it probably got found while because they had to live separately because he was living and working down here and she was living and working in Indy and he was moving up there. So she came down to help him move and they were going through the stuff and she probably found the watch. It's like, "Hey, honey, what's this?" Like, it's just garbage.
Hey, well, a free watch is a free watch.
Yeah. I looked at it's nothing super fancy, obviously, because it was given by a non-long committal relationship partner, but it looks fancy. That's all that matters.
I mean, it tells the time and it looks good. It's a good watch.
It can't tell the time because, like I said,
it looks good. It's an average watch.
The other watch I was looking at the other day, I don't even know how I would get it working again because it's like a solid body. So I guess I'd have to take it to a watch shop and they'd pop the face off and then do something with it.
Might just be a battery thing.
Well, no, like I said, it's a solid body, Cooper. There's no back for me to take off. I haven't investigated. I could Google it, I guess. I haven't really investigated that.
You should get a pocket watch. Feel like we could bring those back, right?
I'd be paranoid.
Because, I mean, let's face it, paranoid of what?
Dropping it.
Well, that's why you have the chain.
Yeah, what if the chain comes unhooked?
Get a good chain.
That's fair. What were you saying about them?
I was going to say, if, in terms of modern day, right, a watch is about as useful as a pocket watch, right?
Yes.
Meaning functionally they're the same. So I feel like functionally they can make the same comeback.
Well,
watches are
arguably
as popular as ever.
We've gone back to pocket watches, right? Because everybody has their phone to check the time, and they pull the phone out of the pocket and click the button, which is the same as opening the little, thing.
But it's not attached to a chain.
No, that's the only difference. Granted, phones can do a little bit more than just tell the time, but that's what a lot of people use them for. All right.
Saying if you come. Oh, no.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Talk about the album. Okay.
Yeah. Also, you're going to have to do some talking because I forgot to change the stuff before we started because I was just so ready.
Hey, well, welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be reviewing Made in Timeland by King Gizzard and
Come on, Cooper.
The Lizard Wizard.
You gotta give the whole spiel. You haven't done the intro before. This is your first time.
What do you mean? I'm doing the spiel.
No. You gotta say hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop podcast.
No, that's what you do. This is what I do.
You didn't even tell people what they were listening to.
We're not a monolith. Look, if they listen to us talk about Pocket Watches for 10 minutes, they know what we're about.
Maybe we should stop the whole wait a couple of minutes so people can see that we've gone live and just get maybe we could do that at the end. I don't know.
Now, we are the Audio Shop podcast. Your one-stop shop for your music fix. There, see, I plugged it in. And yeah, we're going to be reviewing Made in Timeland by King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. Not our first rodeo with this band. Not even our second rodeo.
Who's talking right now, Cooper?
Who's talking?
Yeah.
Like when you said that, or when I'm saying right now? Because when you said it was Sam. When I said it, it's Cooper.
I think we should start introducing ourselves occasionally, just in case there are any listeners, because there is the possibility that you hop in and you're like, who are these two schmucks? I can't tell their voices apart.
What, should one of us do a funny accent to help differentiate us?
But you've got the most repertoire of accents, so maybe you should.
I have the exact one accent.
No. You've got like 30 of them, right? You've got Australian, South African, British.
Look, Sam, we're reviewing an Australian band right now. I feel like we're working out at this moment. It may have to be a tad disrespectful. No, but I'm Cooper.
Nice to meet you.
That's when you say your name.
Oh, I'm Sam.
And this is the Disney Channel. Wait, no.
No. Do they even do that anymore?
I don't think so.
That's kind of lame. Also, I was going to say earlier, I think this is the first album we've reviewed which is not on Spotify.
It's true. This is a non-Spotify album. You had to delve deep into YouTube to find this one. It
looks like it's an iHeartRadio exclusive or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even... Wow. I mean, I can see why.
But
we'll get into
that's part of why I missed it, I think, because I occasionally will check the release charts, but obviously something like King Gizzard doesn't show up on that because they just focus on the American bands, I think, on that one website I check. But I can see their latest album. I didn't see this one, so that's how I missed it.
No, this one kind of went under the radar. I guess we'll give a brief background on King Gizzard first.
Yeah.
Like we said, Australian rock band formed in 2010, so relatively new band, 12 years old. They've got many members. Stu McKenzie, the vocalist, Ambrose Kinney-Smith, harmonica and keyboard, Cook Craig, guitar, bass, Joey Walker, guitar and bass and keyboard, Lucas Harwood, bass and keyboard. And then I know the percussion guy left the band recently.
Yeah, that was pretty recent, wasn't it? He was the manager as well.
Good thing we can just replace him with a clock. But they're kind of known for having very energetic live shows and having a very prolific discography. Like I said, they formed only in 2010, which is relatively recently. But this is their 19th studio album. So if you just look at the numbers there, you're putting out like 2 albums a year. And they touch on a lot of different genres as well. Psychedelic rock, garage rock, acid rock, a lot of different rocks, but also, like psychedelic pop, some doom metal, some thrash metal. This one's pretty electro heavy. This is Made in Timeland, their 19th studio album, released March 5th, 2022. So a pretty recent release. And it's a tight album. It only consists of 2 15-minute tracks, which are actually pretty similar, presumably, because one could be on each side of the record.
Mm-hmm.
And the sort of gimmick of this album is that both tracks consist of several short sections that just feature a consistent clicking noise at the tempo of 60 beats per minute, much like a clock ticking.
You don't say.
Yes, which made in Timeland. It's the clock thing, and one of the members is on record saying that basically this whole album was made as a sort of intermission album, wherein they do these like 3 hour long marathon sets when they perform live, which considering how high energy a lot of their songs on is pretty amazing. But this is like basically what they made so that whenever they're doing those sets, they have like intermission music. Between them preparing in between the sets.
Huh. That's not what I would use this for, but okay.
I mean, compared to I guess some of their other stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't. A lot of the sections though don't feel like they can be lifted out and listened to individually with much cohesion.
I guess that's true, but if you're going for like 15 or 30-minute intermission, I just put on one of these songs and there you go.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like minutes between song transitions or something. I don't know.
No, I'm assuming if they're doing 3-hour sets, they're probably going to have some chunky intermissions so they don't just die.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Yeah. Because while it is 2 15-minute songs, they definitely have a distinct split to them. You want to get into the first track, Coop?
I said first track of 2. So
first 15 minutes.
Track number 1, Timeland. Like I said in the introduction, it is the most prevalent element of this entire album is this 60 beats per minute. Like it's sometimes snapping, it's sometimes ticking, it's sometimes like some sort of percussion beat. This is ever present ticking in the background, and it's right there from the start.
And it constantly shifts it up even within just this first song as well. Because sorry, my headphones fell off. For the first little bit, it's like it sounds like the ticking of a clock, right? But it's this rubbing noise. I don't know. It sounds almost like somebody peeling a potato.
Yeah, there's something kind of textural to it.
Yeah.
That's like it's not like a straight ticking noise, but like some sort of like slightly distorted version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the best way to approach this is like the songs are 15 minutes long, but they're definitely segmented into very identifiable chunks, for lack of a better term. And this first chunk kind of starts off with this very low-key, dreamy, humming in the background with like some funky bass line underneath it and this, clock beat going on over it.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure what to expect from this, and it certainly wasn't what we got.
Yeah, that's the things I like about King Gizzard. It's like each album can be pretty rapidly different from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Your Murder of the Universe is not the same as your Sketches of Brunswick East.
No.
And this is like basically a atmospheric, like I said, like mostly vocalist intermission album, where it's like more of like being very hypnotic and slow moving, kind of exploring the spaces of each sound.
It almost felt wrong, like analyzing stuff, because a lot of times it just made me want to sit and lean my chair back and just listen.
Which, given that it's intermission music,
mm-hmm.
It kind of makes sense that
mm-hmm.
I mean, it helps. It has like a very, literally 60 beats per minute rhythmic. one tap per second groove to it.
Yeah.
That kind of lulls you.
Yeah, we got some nice twinkling, heavily filtered glockenspiel, or at least a digital equivalent of it. Sure, it certainly sounded like glockenspiel. Which pairs well with a bit of softer bass synth here right at the start. And each one kind of ends up being, it's around 2 to 3 minutes, I got the feel for.
Roughly. The different sections.
Yeah. And the one that first pops up at 2:18 said comes in with you standing outside of a bumping club because you didn't look cool enough for the bouncer to let you in.
Yeah, that was not. This is the you're in the bathroom at the club,
Yeah, we had the exact
right? And
same
you can just
thought.
you can feel it through the walls.
Uh-huh.
It's like this very low electric beat and drum kick where it's like it's not like it's like techno club, but kind of slightly low key techno club.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is different than the beginning. These songs aren't a monolith. Um, they change textiles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how like in Dum Dum Pops, um, the mystery flavor is literally just whenever they're switching from one flavor to the other.
Yeah,
There's like
well,
this
that's the mystery
section of like
flavor for a lot of like the mystery flavor Laffy Taffy too, or whatever. Airhead,
yeah,
sorry.
exactly where it's really just like the transition from one flavor to another.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sections leading into each other. It's like these. You just got blueberry and cotton candy.
Or sometimes chocolate and pomegranate. Well, actually, no, that one would work. Chocolate and
Cough syrup.
yeah. I'm trying to think of flavor combination that wouldn't work there, but this first one I really liked because it's got some nice funky synth. But we get one of the few vocal sections right there where somebody ruins it by saying Timeland really stupidly.
But Sam, that's the name of the song.
Yeah, I don't
You can't
care.
name a song. You can't name the song after something unless you say the name of the song within the song.
That's not how that works. You don't have to do that.
It's the law.
But that one, comes and goes. And we get some odd blowing instrument around the 4-minute mark. I thought it sounded like filtered flute. But
yeah, that flute section is at around like the 4 minute is pretty unpleasant.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
That's why I was thinking maybe it's recorder because the attacks of the notes sound really wrong for a flute.
Honestly, I think you're probably right. It's probably closer to recorder than flute.
But I've never heard anyone do vibrato on recorder, so that's why that's why I was thinking flute. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Quickly learned why it doesn't, because you right after this, kind of pulsating electro beat, you get like this very airy, like Charlie's 5th grade recital,
yeah,
recorder edition of like this song.
Except you're outside the doors because you're starting to leave.
Yes. Luckily, it's not that long. It only lasts about a minute, but still.
Yeah.
Definitely drops the energy down.
But then the energy comes back at around the 5:40 mark. It breaks into some driving bass with quarter note main lines popping up every once in a while, or a quarter step rather, which is really nice. It's kind of electronica with some psychedelica in there. Yeah,
it's got this really slightly like sinister like bass line.
Oh, I didn't get sinister vibes at all from that.
I was getting like a little spooky, like like a dark line going there. Where it's like it's pulsating and it's almost hypnotic. Just always driving forward.
Yeah, I didn't get sinister from that at all, but I mean, I guess I can kind of see where you're coming from with that.
I guess maybe dark is a better term.
Yeah.
Like it's got flavors of it's like if the club was next to a Halloween store.
Yeah, one of the clubs shut down and turned into a Spirit Halloween. Speaking, I saw a permanent Spirit Halloween store somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but they had like a proper signpost.
It's got to be like a tax laundering thing or something, right?
It's got to be. Or there's finally enough, there's finally enough goths in the world again to support a year-round Halloween store.
Because if 2022 has taught me anything, it's that brick and mortar stores are on the up and up. Especially Halloween stores.
Well, hey, everybody's trying to ditch Amazon, so sorry. We're on Twitch, which is owned by them. The next section has got like some weird flute and plucked strings in it and more clock sounds, but had kind of I didn't like the transition from the previous section. This one just felt a little weirdly stuck in there. This was the one where I was like, yeah, this is, you might as well split it up into a bunch of individual songs than having, 2 big ones. Just take the 50 little ones. You'll live.
That's like a weird, like, electro harpsichord type thing going on.
Yeah,
it's almost like a. It reminded me of like old point and click adventure games, Like when there's like a ballroom section, it's like this weird kind of MIDI, classical music.
Well, you say that, but I definitely think that was more so in Smoke and Mirrors, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. I'm saying it definitely pokes its head in here. Yeah, it's an odd little intermission.
Yeah, it's like an intermission for the song, which is odd since this is meant to be intermission music.
Intermission.
But then we get back into it at 9:35 ish. Got some wood blocks, some kind of metal thing. I assume it's a instrument from somewhere I don't know, and it sounded like it was singing in the language I didn't understand, but maybe it was backwards. I couldn't tell.
No, it sounded like a foreign language. I couldn't identify, but let's just use the world music tab.
Yeah. But I really liked it. I wish they had kind of kept it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think the best parts of these songs are when it like keeps the kind of hypnotic vibe.
Mm-hmm. Which it's a good thing you say that, because it transitions from the world section back into that 540 section with the heavy bass that you called sinister.
Yes. Back with the hypno beat. Reminds me of like a John Wick movie,
I've never actually seen any of the John Wick movies.
They're good movies. But yeah, it kind of jumps back into it, which I kind of like how it's kind of like a couple of sections revisit the like other sections or the older sections.
Yeah, that one definitely it felt the most put together, and they reference it the most. So I feel like that was one of the ones that they were really happy with.
Yeah, and then at about the 12 like 20-ish mark, it definitely changes pace. And there's this kind of dreamy, soulful piano led, or I'm not even sure if it's piano, but I guess maybe keyboard led, kind of ethereal sounding dreamscape.
Yeah, you got some falsetto vocals high off in the clouds, and some weird rubbing clock noises come back from the beginning that sound like a potato peeler.
Hey, don't forget the ticking's here the entire song.
It is, but sometimes it's a lot more obvious than others.
Yeah, sometimes it's like a little more subtle with like the percussions blending in with the other percussion. Sometimes, like this part, it stands out.
Yeah, and not personally, in my preference, not in a good way. But it does, from this point, it transitions into the clock noise becomes like an anvil, which I liked a bit more. Back in the techno finish.
Yeah, I didn't care for the clock. I mean, honestly, got pretty tired of the gimmick by the end of the album.
It didn't bug me too much. Honestly, I just didn't like the potato peeler one. The rest of them I actually liked.
Though at the end of the song, right at the 14-minute mark, or just about, goes into back into the aggressive techno beat.
Mm-hmm. They really like that. Just kept using it.
They got to keep the energy up. This is when you're grabbing your drink, going through the crowd, waiting for the next set to start.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of yell over the techno beat that's going on in the background.
Exactly. And it caught me off guard, but that transition between track 1 and track 2 even was very similar to the transitions within the songs themselves. If you want to jump on to the next one, Coop.
Yes, jump on to track 2, Smoke and Mirrors, which is the other half of the album. I'm pretty sure the only reason these are 2 songs is because they would be on 2 sides of a vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, structurally, they're the exact same. I mean, they have different sections, but the whole, every 2 minutes is switching to like a new thing with a clock in the background carries through.
Yes, and the first result when I was looking this up actually was vinyl. Was the suggested search, so people are looking for it. But yeah, the start of this was it felt like a real
song.
Sorry, there was a There was a bot in chat. It was a real shift transition because you get the bass guitar, which we haven't had any guitar, as far as I could tell, up until this point.
Which is funny considering the band has like 3 guitarists.
Yes, but it really sets a change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off with some like nice note bending, which is really nice. And it really feels like a distinct style change to set up a new song, which I really enjoyed. And I didn't realize how much the bass guitar would add in terms of depth. It's like, wow, yeah, I guess there hasn't been any guitar.
I like this beginning section of the new song.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps obviously there's no vocals again, but still keeps the energy and kind of keeps the kind of ethereal nature of this whole album. Still changing up the instrumentation and making it feel like it fits in.
Yeah. And it continues that trend of kind of blending the songs together, where the second section of this, you get some really far away organ coming in, while some closer organs continue note bending, and somebody has a whale of a time on some clackers.
Now, it does around the 2:30 mark on this song, it kind of goes into an interesting direction where it's like he's like not xylophone, but like I guess like almost like electronic harp instrumentation, and like these like sleigh bell type beats in the background. It's very like it's like a fairy glade,
You're not talking about the third section, are you? Or are you talking about the second one?
No, I'm talking about the second section.
Okay. Because I really noticed that in the third section, where it was like some Zelda town music, really simple instruments that sounded like they could easily be encoded onto a cartridge.
No, I'm talking about like around the 2.5 minute mark.
See, the one I found was full, so it was both songs back to back. So my
okay, so the 17.5 minute mark,
17.5. That's the section I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Very Zelda-ish.
Yes, like I said, fairy glade, kind of mystical,
and sounded like it was being rendered on an old-timey console as well. It was not very crisp.
Still liked it though.
It was interesting.
You're just mad you can't play the electric harp.
That sounds dangerous.
It's made of like piano wire.
Yeah, it's like the electric triangle. And then the next one, we finally get some English vocals around the 1950 mark. I don't know what it would be on that. I'm not going to do the math.
I just subtract 15 from whatever you're saying. It's a 430.
450, I said. And it's really far away, so it's kind of hard to hear over the instruments. But that was kind of all right because it sounded like slam poetry. It wasn't so much sung.
Yeah, it's just kind of like slightly like distorted. Like it's obviously pitched up just a tad. To make it sound slightly less human. But yeah, it's like some sort of like spoken word, not quite rap, but like not quite, just speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like a rhythm to it, with some aggressive clapping in the background as well.
Yeah, really aggressive clapping.
And they say the word "smoke and mirror," so that's the name of the song.
Yeah,
it's the law, Sam.
Yeah, I know. And the next one after this,
Did you know that Michael Jackson actually, in the original version of Billie Jean, he says, "You're so mean, you're not my lover," but they're like, "But you named the song Billie Jean, so you got to say Billie Jean during that part." And he goes, "Well, I guess so. It's the law."
Wait, is that are you shitting me, or is that something?
Yeah, of course, I'm lying to you.
Okay.
Why would you name the song Billie Jean and not say Billie Jean?
I don't know. People name songs all the time and don't include the word in it.
Name one.
There's a couple. I can tell you that.
But yeah.
3rd Street Rumble or whatever it's called for me, LO.
Huh? No, he whispers it very softly. You can't hear it.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Battle of Marston Moor. That's another one that they don't say. the name of the song. Do you want more ELO
Oh,
examples, or can I? Can we
No,
continue?
you can't. Okay, we can go to the next section.
I don't know how to describe this one other than synth vibescape.
You know, I think that covers the bases. It's like, yeah, you're just kind of chilling in some sort of synth land.
Is this what the kids call shoegaze?
This is not what the kids call shoegaze. This is way too calm.
I definitely
Shoegaze
felt like
is
I couldn't
wall of
look a woman
sound.
in the eye while listening to it.
Well, okay, that is one of the necessary proponents of shoegaze, but not the only proponent, you know?
Because that's why it's called shoegaze.
Kind of like how all squares are rectangles and all rectangles are squares.
Okay, I got you. I see. Okay. So there's a lot of music that, you would stare at your shoes when trying to talk to a lady, but
Yeah, yes. Shoegaze, that's 100% true.
Okay.
No. Shoegaze, you're able to drown out those thoughts while you're looking at your shoes.
Right, I wouldn't even been able to think that. I see.
No. See, this one's a little too soft to drown it out.
Okay.
No, but if it goes on to the 8-minute mark or the 23-minute mark, with slightly more aggressive techno beats.
Yeah, I called it crazy house music, but I'm not sure it falls into the category of house. It definitely sounded house.
Maybe house influenced.
Yeah.
And
of course you get that weird voice again saying a single word. At least it didn't say smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I think this whole album's very I guess maybe not like it's got like the essence of like EDM or like house music. Right, where it's very intentionally repetitive and hypnotic.
Mm-hmm.
But they're kind of melded into like their own kind of weird King Gizzard kind of way.
And then the last one brings us kind of back to the start with some nice acoustic and vibrating instruments before launching into a piano attempting to be a bass line and some very 2000s rap.
I know interesting they decide to end on the rap section.
Yeah, that ending was not very good.
I mean, this whole album's not really it's not really built, I guess, like an album, which I guess fair. That's not the intention of it. It's really just sections of like ideas.
Yeah.
That are all kind of just connected by this singular tick-tocky noise. If your typical album is like a cake, where each song is a different layer of the cake, this is more like a 7-layer dip, right? Or it's like each thing is like a very distinct, like ingredient that just happens to be on top of another ingredient.
A trifle where somebody accidentally forgot which ingredients went where.
Yes.
Now, does the roast beef go on top of the tapioca pudding, or?
Nothing like beef in my pudding.
Yeah. But that's the album.
Then, of course, the album ends on tick-tocking.
It just kind of ends. It's a pretty hard cut.
Yeah, I kind of imagine it in the live usage of this. It'd be more like a fade out as like they enter stage and the whoop of the crowd comes in.
I like to think all the lights are off and the hard cut happens, and then the lights come up and they start playing a song. That's probably what I would do.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's made in Timeland.
So Cooper, sorry, you go first.
No, you better not ask me what my favorite song is.
What's your favorite song on the album?
Like this album bucks traditional album structure. I feel like you can't really say,
Cooper, there's 2 songs. You have to pick a favorite and a least favorite.
I don't have to pick anything.
Well, my favorite's Timeland.
Okay.
And my least favorite is Smoke and Mirrors.
Wow. And why is that?
Timeland had better overall structure. Smoke and Mirrors had that weird rap section at the end, which was kind of odd, and the Zelda town music, which I didn't really like. But
I don't like
Timeland
the
had
Zelda music, town music.
that world section, and it's got that driving bass that just keeps coming back that I really like, and it's just better in my opinion.
I mean, they're not really songs per se.
Well, that's not what it says on the tin. It says
That's true. That's true. They had to squeeze it into the vinyl structure.
yeah, which they could have done even if they had like. Just because all your songs flow into one each other doesn't mean it has to be one song, right? You can split it up and say, okay, this section to this section is this song, which you could do.
That's kind of the point, though. They're supposed to flow into each other, like so much that they don't even have distinct names.
That's fair, but there are very distinct sections. That's
Oh no, 100%.
You can't have your meat and eat it too.
What?
Because the meat and the pudding.
Oh, okay.
In place of the cake,
so
it's called a callback.
Well, then I'll say my favorite, Smoke and Mirrors.
Wow, we're complete opposites this time.
Wow.
My favorite is your least favorite, and your favorite is my least favorite.
Such a divisive album. In that case, Sam, what would you? Well, I guess give us a breakdown of the rating system here at the Audio Shop.
Sure. So here at the Audio Shop, we tried to make a frog themed podcast, as you can see with all the pictures of frogs. But somewhere the wires got crossed, and even though I'm the one doing all the back end stuff for the stream, I accidentally made it car themed. No, of course, we didn't discover this until about 25 episodes in.
By then, our image was cemented.
Right. We kind of had to keep going with the car thing. So we have the rating system based off cars. So we got, cream of the crop, top of the top, showroom, 5 out of 5, best of the best. You got to listen to this album. If you don't, probably going to get killed by somebody. And bottom of the barrel, scrapyard, worst of the worst. This song might actually kill you. I almost died listening to Imagine Dragons Origins. It's like that scene in Hercules, the Disney animated one with the ladies with the string, right? They pull the string tight and go to cut it.
Your face where it was sealed.
Yeah. But they pulled the string tight, and right as they were about to snip, the album ended, and they couldn't cut it.
I would literally listen to just 15 minutes of that one woman in Hercules saying Hercules just over and over again, as opposed to Imagine Dragons Origins.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably prefer to listen to babies crying as opposed to that. Probably be more pleasant. Anyway, but high and low in between, we've got a bunch of different levels, and it really just depends on our mood. So if we feel really mean, then it's going to get a lower rating. So Cooper, what would you say you'd give this album?
Well, we've talked a lot about what the album's doing, but not so much about how it's making us feel. And honestly, I think I'm gonna have to go with a low used rental on this one.
Wow.
Which I know is pretty mean.
That is pretty low.
But I just wasn't vibing with what this album was putting out. I mean, maybe I understand its purpose, intermission album, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the actual sitting down listening experience, maybe this is good for background music, as like people are getting drinks at a concert, which literally is what it's designed for. But in terms of actually just like sitting down listening to it, it's like too disjointed from itself. The whole clock theme gets pretty tiring right out the gate. Yeah, there's like some interesting ideas every here and there, but like they're so like slash bang against like weird air flute recorder things or like unnecessary rap sections, and like for every okay idea it has, there's like another bad idea. They're kind of congeals into this like album that's like, I guess, kind of interesting in concept but not in execution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't see myself recommending this to anyone besides like the completionist of the King Gizzard discography. Not that it is like it's not like a scrapyard, right? It wasn't painful to listen to, but I was pretty bored throughout.
Hmm.
Um, which so I mean, it's certainly in terms of King Gizzard's discography, I couldn't recommend it over any of their other stuff. What about you, Sam?
I would give it a fixer upper, pretty solidly middle, I'd say. The clock thing really didn't bug me because you got to remember one of my favorite albums of all time is the Interstellar soundtrack. And
That's true.
There's one of my favorite songs off that album is The Mountains, which it's got that time theme in it, and time's a big part of that movie.
Plus, there's that one time you fell asleep in that metronome factory.
Yeah, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. But yeah, it didn't bug me. I thought there was a lot of interesting things. Like you said, there's quite a few sections that are just like, yeah, it's an idea, but it's not good. Like the ending rap section, that was just, I mean, it was very nostalgic, early 2000s rap, but it's like, why is this is nothing to do with anything you've done the rest of this time. And there's the Zelda stuff, which I wasn't a big fan of. None of it was bad per se. It just was like, okay. And I wouldn't sit down and just stare at a wall and listen to it. If you're doing some studying maybe, or filing your taxes, this might be good background music for it.
Literal filler music.
Yeah, because you got to have something on in the background to distract you from this deafening silence that is life.
Such as hip-hop, rapping.
Yeah, because if you don't have music or a YouTube video or something constantly playing, then you'll start thinking, and you don't want that.
That's why I need my shoegaze. Can't let the thoughts in.
You might be thinking, but you can't even hear it. You got something in the oven? Well, I hope you set a timer, because you're not going to remember. But that's the podcast. We're now going to roll on over to the spare tire, which is just whatever else we've been listening to. And it's been like a month, so there's probably a bit.
So I'm sure you got a lock on the lock and load, Sam.
Yeah, I've been listening. I listened to a lot of YMO in that time. Just
good,
absolute binge. I listened to it was another Wings album. Can't remember what it was. Because I've been doing a lot of work in the back at work, and I throw up an album on YouTube while I'm working, so I don't have it easily accessible here on my phone to show what I've been listening to. Been listening to some of the Cuphead soundtrack. Been craving that. Diving back into some Larry Carlton. Really love his jazz. And I'm thinking I'm going to hunt down some funk. I think I'm in a funk mood.
Going funk?
So I need to find some of that. But yeah, just kind of all over the place lately. Of course, ELO while I'm driving to work, because I gotta have something to sing to. But yeah, just kind of going all over the shop.
If you're looking for some more modern funk, Thundercat's always a good source to draw from.
I don't care what it is. I just need some funk bass. That's all I need. The song has to have funky bass in it. That's it.
Then do you like the artist Thundercat? I'd give them a listen.
All right, I'll write that down.
Yeah, no, I've been listening to some good stuff as well. New Red Hot Chili Peppers album. Listened to a lot of Duval Timothy, who has these kind of light piano albums that are very nice to read to, with some spoken word in the background as well. Like I'm in a library and someone's whispering next to me. Also listened to the other new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album.
I still got to do that one.
Yeah, didn't tell you this, but actually another one released this Friday. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
That's a month and a half after this one.
This one released in March, since they've already released another one in April.
Yes, this one was 80 minutes long. It's a chunky album.
Jeez Louise.
It's called Omnium Gatherum, and it is very good. one of my more favorite King Gizzard albums in their recent discography. It feels half as long as this album, despite being literally more than twice as long. So I mean, I'd highly recommend that album. It's got some good songs in it.
I need to do it.
I'd hunker down and listen to it.
I've also been listening to ABBA. Listening to some ABBA.
Mm-hmm. Get your Eurovision fix.
Yeah, it's good workout music. It's got a good BPM.
Money, money, money. Hee hee funny.
Okay, sure I didn't say their music was great, but
no, I'm a fan of a good ABBA song as well. You know, it's not high art, but it doesn't have to be.
No, it's just good pop. All right, well, that's the podcast, I think. If you guys have liked what you heard for some godforsaken reason, you can scroll on down on Twitch, and there's a big old picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the aviators on and the poofy hair. They'll take you to YouTube, where all of our past episodes are, minus the one Supertramp one. And if you're listening on YouTube, you go to the description. That'll take you to our Twitch, 8 p.m. Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Sundays. Usually, we've not been very good. Life has kind of caught up with us.
Every Sunday.
Life has kind of caught up with us here recently. What with Cooper traveling for work and me traveling for family, so... But we should have a couple of weeks here back to back before something else pops up, right?
Yeah, be able to squeeze it in.
Yeah. I'm free next Sunday, and that's it. Okay, next Sunday. That's it. And then that's Mother's Day and my sister's graduation. So,
the Sunday after that, I'm gonna be in Arizona.
You're shitting me.
I remember.
Then the week after that, I got a wedding. Might be another month. We'll see. I don't know, because I don't know if I'm staying up in Lafayette on Saturday night or if I'm coming back.
You know, if we just rebranded as a monthly show, we'd be amazingly consistent.
We'd be really consistent.
We're setting the bar too high for ourselves.
But that'd be so little music listened to, though, you know? Oh, well. I didn't think we'd be less consistent than last year, but holy shit, we're on track, man. We're on track. But yeah, what's the other thing I usually say? I said the YouTube. I said the.
You said thank you to our sponsor.
You can go to our Patreon. Yeah. What's the? Oh, if you got a suggestion.
The suggestion box.
Yeah, you can. I mean, probably don't though, because we finally touched it after 2 years. So if it's really good, maybe, but usually we've got something on the burner. But yeah, leave a suggestion if you got one. And then how can they find out what we're going to listen to next week, Cooper? Or if suddenly
if you want to find out what we're going to listen to next week / in May, you can follow us at Audio Shop Pod. That's POD on Twitter. We'll let you know when we're going to actually review. So once it pops to your feed, it'll be a nice little surprise.
Yeah, and I know you were against the change in the Twitter handle Cooper, but I just found another. I was watching a YouTube video and they shouted out a podcast, and their podcast Twitter handle was the podcast name and pod. So I think we're in good company.
Well, there we go. But, business acumen.
Yeah. what business? We don't make any money from this.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See ya.